I believe at times of mass greed or mass fear, it's important to stabilize your emotions with videos like the one I'm going to be making for you all today that should hopefully allow you to come back to a level of sensibility. And what I mean by that is giving you facts and information that I haven't actually covered yet on this channel in a video like this that will allow you to see objectively through the veil these whales are trying to give to you, whether that's greed or whether that's fear or FOMO, to make you buy or sell crypto when really it's not a good time to do any of that. So pay close attention today. And if you watch right through to the very end, I've got an amazing, easy to follow DCA structure. I think those of you who want to take advantage of the current market conditions can follow. And I haven't seen anyone else cover this DCA plan. It's what I personally do in my own portfolio to ensure I'm actually maximizing the top side, so making the most gains and actually reducing risk at the same time. So look, if those of you who have been living under a rock and are maybe just seeing this now and haven't checked CoinMarketCap, okay, Bitcoin's down about 10% right now. And of course, in the same respects, altcoins will be down a lot further. And they are. You might have seen a bit of a hit to your portfolio, okay? $312 million worth of liquidations have occurred in the last 24 hours, which of course has put pressure on the whole entire market. So there you have it. Now, again, strap yourselves in, guys. Make sure you hit that like button right now before we get things kicked off, because I will hopefully in this video give you some sense, give you some idea of what is to still come and alleviate those fears. And also while you're down there, hit the subscribe button as well, because that will allow you to achieve all your crypto goals in this bull run. I've showed many different times before on the channel how and why this happens to the market, okay? This is all a part of the whale's plan. This is how they're able to buy and invoke fear into your subconscious, or conscious most of the time, and then actually make you sell when you don't want to sell, usually at a loss, and then they buy, and then ultimately what ends up happening? They sell at lower levels, and you want the same ROI, you want the same gains, but this time you need more multiples because you've made a loss, and that ultimately means that you end up trying to sell up here, whales sell down here, therefore the market looks something like this, and you're wondering to yourself, hey, why did my sell levels never hit? So this is all a part of their plan, but I'm not going to talk about this. As I said, I've mentioned this in a few other videos and done a deep dive into it. But I've got some facts today to prove that you don't have to really panic about all too much. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying for certain the market's going to definitely move in a way, because this is the real world. Okay, we don't live in a simulation, at least as far as I'm hopefully aware. Okay, so this could definitely still bounce back on the other way. But what we know so far is that we are still due for a bull run. Take this right here. Long-term holder supply. Now, I got this information from a recent interview I did with Credible Crypto. So watch this video over here. You aren't ready for what happens next. And he brought up a really important indicator I didn't personally know about at that time, which was this. Usually in a bull run, we have this transition from long-term holders, whales, guys who have been accumulating Bitcoin in a bear market, to short-term holders. And this reflects very well in this chart. We can see way back in 2014. What happened? Well, as the market began going up, these whales began selling. In the bear market, after prices started coming down, they began buying and buying and buying. The same thing in 2018. They began buying again. And then the same thing in the last cycle. It's kind of amazing how I didn't pick up on this and no one talks about this, okay? Now, we've started to see a massive sell-off ever since we began breaking the previous all-time highs. But you have to understand this is actually kind of normal. We can see this happen many times in the past as well. They begin selling off at the previous all-time highs. Once that's broken, it begins ticking off. Now, we have started to see a little bit of a tick up here. I think in the grand scheme of things, once we actually extrapolate the information after this coming cycle, we'll begin to see that this was a small little sell-off compared to what actually will come eventually. It's still nothing to be dismissed. We have a look now at the short-term holders, and again, it literally is the complete opposite, right? At the time of the all-time highs, what happens? These guys begin buying, whales begin selling to the short-term holders, right? Short-term paper hands, like new money coming in, okay? Because they don't know when the top is. They have to be sold on the top, right? The articles come out and all of the fancy, amazing, bullish things pop up. That's why I was saying earlier, don't let them pull the wool over your eyes, right? Or the curtain over your eyes, because that's what they try to do to make and convince you to buy or sell at a given time. Usually the narrative is the opposite. So in this case, we can see again, they begin selling off in the bear markets and buying at those highs. Now, it can be quite concerning to think about the fact that, again, the transition has been happening recently. Started to sell off, starting to buy, okay? But I've got some more supportive evidence here in a second that might give us a better outlook on what's actually happening, because by this metric, we can't truly see if the transition is happening for the end goal, right? For the end goal being, well, the all-time high, okay? Because, again, this might be a small blip in compared to what comes next, because, again, this bull run is shaping up to be much larger than the others. So the Bitcoin supply for the different time frames a token is active in a wallet from Glassnode gives us a little bit of a better idea as to what's happening right now, okay? So essentially, each band, the colored bands itself, represent a different sort of certain amount of time that a token has been inactive in a wallet. So an active token is a token that's been transferred out of a wallet. So if I was someone who held, let's say, 100 Bitcoin in a wallet, hadn't touched those Bitcoin for 5 years, but I was depositing Bitcoin in, that wouldn't impact those 100 tokens. And what would happen if I transferred one of those 100 tokens out? So then I had 99. That one token would then represent the red band, so active within 12 months. And those 99 tokens would still be inactive in essence, okay, because they haven't been moved in 5 years. So the way it works is, again, pretty much untouched tokens for a period of time. Now, this gives us a better idea as to what's possibly happening right now. The red and yellow bands, so basically under 2 years in total, these have been moving down slightly, which means that, some of these sort of more paper hands type money are selling some of their Bitcoin, and the ones that are 3 years and 5 years, the green and the blue bands, are actually upticking. They're actually going up still, which is fantastic. The long-term holders down here pretty much always go up, but the green is a bit more flexible, and again, these guys are going up. Yes, we've had a slight retracement now, of course, but needless to say, you can see the trend moving up, and again, the shorter paper hands moving down. So that, of course, is a good sign. Again, remember, the whole idea here is that whales at the all-time high or at the blow-off top moments of a bull run tend to transfer pretty rapidly, by the way, their tokens to the more paper hands. And I think this might be more the case this time around with the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Here's a probably more convincing chart or charts I'll show you here now that I think better describe this, okay? So essentially, the chart we're looking at here is people who held their coins for less than 3 months. So we're looking at this lighter orange here for 1 to 3 months, the reddish color here for 1 week to 1 month, and it goes down in terms of darkness for the least amount of time held their tokens, okay? So the accumulation of a euphoric bull market is often marked by a saturation in wealth held by these new buyers, which also represents a point of large-scale divestment by long-term holders. So what that means, again, is what I've just explained to you, okay? That this tends to build up quite a lot at the all-time high, at the really euphoric moments of the bull run, and then we see the opposite happen for the long-term holders, and I'll show the chart here in a second. At the moment, the proportion of wealth held by new investors is declining and well below the levels typically witnessed in a macro market top. This highlights a general shift in investor behavior back towards hodling, but also a general slowdown in new demand. So yes, demand's slowing down, but that's okay at this point. I believe, truly, the longer and the slower we move, okay, further into 2025, the better for the prices of altcoins, because the market can become more mature, more people are interested, therefore more money, therefore higher prices, essentially, right? If you're breaking it down to the basics. So we can see here that essentially the sort of the short-term holders, right, way back in 2018, they begin buying and buying and buying. And of course, over here, back in 2021, they did the same thing. Now, not to say that all the time, these massive spikes indicate a definite blow-off top moment, because there was much more interest in buying back in the first part of the bull run than there was in the second part, which was the actual all-time high in 2021. But as you can see here, we don't get anywhere near the amount of interest or demand for these short-term holders at all. And if you actually have a look here on the second chart, which represents the long-term holders, right, we can see the different colors represent all the way from 6 to 12 months in this yellowish color, right to 10 years or more in the dark color. You can't barely even see the dark color, right? And in this case, you can see the massive dips that they do have at these times, the huge dips. We got about 50% down where it usually is, maybe about 40% the way down. So we really hadn't had that massive sell-off that is possibly evident when we look at sort of charts like this. Again, these charts can look convincing if you zoom into them and look at them right now, okay? Because again, we haven't had that moment yet in which will likely sort of make what already has happened look tiny, if that makes sense. So the new divergence is likely underway. We can see here the trend is slightly changing, and we should hopefully begin picking up. At least that's what this chart and this chart identifies. Longer term holders, again, buying, which is a really good thing. Not to mention as well, I'll make the next part quite quick, the Pi cycle indicator. This was something that Credible Crypto brought up again in that interview. Please go ahead and watch that. He said, this is pretty accurate, but again, it's accurate until it's not. So this is pretty far off right now, indicating the top of the cycle. Usually when these two moving averages pretty much touch, it's an indication that the top is coming, like we can see back over here and back over here. All right. So very, again, historically accurate indicator, but will it happen again this time? Who knows? And lastly, the crypto buy signal chart is telling us altcoins are still at a really, really good buy right now. And I don't think you have to be a genius to figure that out. Some of these prices I actually didn't think would go. I mean, ASI is $1. I mean, some of these coins are so damn cheap. Hedera is under 6 cents. So need I say more? Okay, it's a fantastic time to begin looking to DCA if you have the money. I get it, right? Not many of us have that insane income stream coming through, but of course it does make sense to live a little bit frugally, live a little bit on the side of basically breaking down a sort of level bracket in which you try to normally live your life, right? If you make 100 grand, you really shouldn't be living like you make 100 grand. You should be living like you make 40 grand. You try to live very frugally, at least in these times, and try to put as much as you can into the market. Not financial advice. Of course, if you believe the market's still got some more to go, which I think, obviously, based on this information, we do. Of course, the active addresses in terms of Bitcoin hasn't got anywhere near the previous, cycles. We can see way back over here that we do have a nice spike towards the top, and we just haven't had that yet. We just haven't had anywhere near it. Of course, MicroStrategy announcing they own a lot more Bitcoin. Okay, these guys are very interested, and Trump saying crazy bombastic things like he wants to pay off the national debt with Bitcoin. I mean, these are all signals, in my opinion, that we do have a lot more to still come. And, whether, of course, I don't want to get political with it, but I think the political atmosphere in the US being on one side, right, if one side wins, and I think we all know who I'm talking about here, it could be a very, very positive thing for Bitcoin and the crypto market in general. Okay, so you've taken this information on board and others' information, and you have come to the decision yourself, hey, now might be a good time dollar cost average. Well, here's how I personally go about doing it. So I'm going to use a fake portfolio right now. Obviously, I have a lot more coins than just 3 coins, but generally speaking, you want to have a place in which, like CoinMarketCap, you've tracked your coins in terms of you have an indicator for the price and the change and the holdings. So I use CoinStats, but CoinMarketCap will do just fine. And you want to have a place you're tracking the exits. So of course, I have my exit portfolio tracker available for any level in my private community, completely, of course, as a bonus in there. So you want to, track it all on here. I can't stress enough how important this is, guys. And you pretty much want to come to CoinMarketCap or CoinStats, have a look at which coin's down the most in terms of your personal investment, not how much it's down the 7-day. That's a good indicator. Admittedly, yes, I do admit that can be very useful, and I do tell people to do that. But look at your profit and loss. If you're down 10 grand on Render, it's better you look towards Render than buying, Near Protocol, for example. And the reason why is because if you actually buy Render in this case, and you say you want to get out of Render at $100, you're then buying it at a lower level, bringing down your average buy-in price. And if you keep the exit price the same, you've now bought more Render, so you have more tokens, and you've reduced your average buy-in, which means your multiples just grew because your average buy-ins come down. So you look for the same target, you're making more money, more multiples. So 2 birds, 1 stone. You're making more money with more tokens. So it's a much better situation than you would with Near, because Near would work on the inverse. You're bringing it up now, reducing the amount of money you're making. You've got more Near tokens, but you've now reduced your multiples. So it's much better to look for the coins you're down on, so long as, of course, you aren't super hyper condensing your diversification. Okay, that's why I have this as part of the sheet as well. You don't want to just keep buying the same coin because it's down, because you'll have all your eggs in literally one basket. Okay, so to cut a long story short, we'd obviously pick Render. But let's say you had a whole much larger portfolio, 15, 20 coins. Here's what you want to do. First of all, how much money are you going to spend? Let's say we're going to spend 20K. We're psychos, right? We have a lot of money. Let's just pretend, okay? How will you diversify the cash? So I normally like to go nice and even. So in this case, I'd go 5K into 4 coins. You might have, let's say, $1,000, and you might go, okay, well, $1,000 isn't that much money. So you might go $500 into 2 coins. Maybe $1,000 is a lot of money to you. Maybe $1,000 is double the size of your current portfolio. You would then look to maybe do 200 into 5 coins. It's all relative, but I would break it up depending on the size of your portfolio. So in this case, our portfolio is quite large. So 20 grand isn't going to make that much of a difference, I think, overall. So we'd look for 4 coins in this case. And will you DCA over time? So will you follow a 40-40-20 structure or a 50-50, or like a psycho, just put all of it in at one time? Okay, so will you put 40% in now, later, and then 20% in at the end? Who knows? Now, if you're asking me non-financially, I would always say 40-40-20 is the best from experience. Maybe 50-50, 100% rarely ever works out, especially at a time right now when the market is rapidly falling down and we haven't hit the bottom yet. The alts might fall an extra 10-20% from here. So if you do want to invest right now, follow a much longer DCA structure, 40-40-20. Believe you me, chances are it'll work out more often than not. So to summarize, we're looking at 20K into 4 different coins. But if your portfolio is, say, 20 coins big, how do you find what coins to invest in? Well, this is kind of the little structure I like to follow. So you take your average buy-in price, right? You use a sheet like this. This is a part of, again, my bull run cheat sheet with the price predictions and all the rest of it in here. You'll use this left column, okay? So let's say we were, and you're going to have to do this exercise for every single coin, by the way. Every single coin, please do this, okay? At least the coins that you're actually down on. Pretty simple, right? So, of course, NIA's the only one we're down on, but let's pretend it was more than just NIA. So we'd start with NIA and we'd go, okay, so we've invested 2,000 tokens at a price of $9.75. That's our, okay, so 2,000 tokens and our average buy-in is $9.75. So if we were to go buy render today, if I just come and type in render over here, and we're going to put in 5 grand. So I would type in USD over here, okay, $5,000, and we'd have 1,009 NIA. So I'd copy the 1,009 NIA tokens. I would put this in here. The current price is $4.95. So I go $4.95. Okay, so yep, that's right. We're investing 5 grand. So that math works out. We'd now have 3,009 tokens. And if I scroll down, it actually calculates your new average buy-in price. So before, our average buy-in price was $9.75. So this has brought us down quite a lot. And so what you need to do is go through every single coin and go, okay, if I do this hypothetical, this is the hypothetical here, buy-in price. If I do that per coin and then take this new average buy-in price, bring it back over here. So what did I say? $8, I'm forgetting already, $8.14. We now have 3,009 coins. We can see that I've gained a few multiples. So if I reverse this, 7.4 multiples before it was 6.2. So we've added more to render rather. And because we're reducing the average buy-in with the average sell price the same, we're making more multiples, which means it's better off overall. If you did this exercise with NIA, it would actually reduce the multiples you're making. Even though you've put more money into NIA, therefore you make more money, it's actually not as beneficial as render. So what I would do is come down over here to the total revenue, total profit, and I would reverse this, okay, reverse it back to where it was before default. So our total revenue is $287,000. And then I would mark that down, and if we purchased render, in this example, it would then go up to $348,000. So again, following the example, I would do that mock test for each coin that I'm down on and see which one adds more to the top side. So that one there added, well, how much? If we reverse it again, $287,000, we added, let's just say about $70,000, $80,000. That's pretty good. So you'd go through and see which ones add the most and then mark those down, okay? Ensure you're always buying the coins that will also diversify your holdings. You don't want to be, again, buying the 4 or 5 coins, whatever, that will continue to centralize your portfolio at the same time. And then you can decide to take the extra profit or reduce the top side. So if you're, of course, over your target, if your target over here is, let's say, $1 million and you're at 1.1 million, you can then decide to be safer and reduce some of your average sell prices. So, for example, if we were over, you might want to go, instead of selling render at $60, sell $50. That way it is substantially more safe for you. Or just make the extra money. So I hope that has explained things for you guys. And that's how I personally do my DCA plan. Sometimes I'm in front of the computer for 30 minutes, an hour and a half doing this exercise. but it is extremely valuable to understand and go ahead and do. Of course, you have all the tools available for you in the private community down below. So if you are someone that wants to just simply get it over and done with in the best possible and fastest way, that is what you have to do. Go ahead and join up. I would be really excited to see you all in there. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you all soon. Stay strong. Bye-bye.